Okay, good day everyone. No? Today we're going to have this topic, beneficial interactions among living things. So what are the kinds of interactions nga atong makita sa mga living things? So let's start. Okay, so when living things interact with other kinds of living things in a regular pattern, they have a relationship. This kind long-term interactive relationship between two different organisms is called symbiosis. So there are different kinds of symbiotic relationships, and not all are beneficial to both organisms. So if the organisms and living things have an interaction to each other, no, sa matag usa. Okay, so they have the relationship, and now, no, if the relationship will be long term, no, long term interactive relationship with two different organisms, so we call that one as symbiosis. Okay, it means they have the interactions. One will benefit from one will benefit, ang isa makabenepisyo, ang isa dili, or dili tanan, no, symbiotic relationships harmful, kuan siya kanang beneficial siya to both organisms. So no, next, no, we have the mutualism. No, mutualism is a relationship between wherein two different kinds of living things benefit from their interactions. So na ay duha ka different kinds of living things na nakabenepisyo sila sa matag usa. Okay, example diri, butterflies and moths are insect adapted to a liquid diet. No, they have a needle-like mouth part called proboscis. No, so kanang needle part nila na sila'y a mouth nga buraog needle, no, buraog dagom that acts like a straw to suck liquids from different plant parts. No, kanang ilang ginagamit, no, kanang sa mga butterflies and moths. No, so they have katong buraog needle, no, nga moy mosak kung suyop dito sa liquid nga naa sa plant. Okay, many kinds of butterflies and moths prefer to gather nectar. Okay, so they prefer to gather nectar produced mostly by the flowers of plants. Nectar is a sugar-rich liquid that can be obtained by insects and small birds. No, so mo na siya. Okay, so through the nectar, no, they prefer to gather nectar, no, nga mostly produced by the flowers of plants. And then ang nectar po, no, sugar-rich siya. Okay, and then that's why mo nang magbalik-balik dahil sila. Okay, so the pollens, no, easily stick to the body parts of insects that come in contact with the flowers. So ang pollens na ay easily stick to the body parts of insects, no, kung unsa tong insects ganing attached dito and then when insects and birds go from flower to feed, they become agents of pollination, so also called pollinators. So sila na ang pollinators, no, sila na ang agents of pollinators. No, so di ba we have learned about the pollination. So sila na ang magbit-bit, no, for example, the butterfly from this flower nagsak siya og nectar and then ning agto sa lain, no, ning dikit man tong kuan dito, ning dikit man tong pollen sa kuan, no, sa insect. So pag moagto sa lain, so dito siya mahimo na siya agent, no. They pollinate the flowers when they transfer pollen from a stamen to another flower's pistil. No, this helps the plant reproduce and bear fruits as pollination takes place. So both of them, no, benefit, no, from their interaction. So ang flower pod naka-benefit sa insect, no, and then ang insect pod naka-benefit pod sa flowers. Okay, the interaction between pollinators and flowers enable them to benefit from each other. Flowers need pollinators for their reproduction. No, pollinators like butterflies and moths need flowers as their source of food. No, so as also shows that both the flowers and the pollinators are interdependent. So interdependent, it means so they depend from each other, and then at the same time they benefit, no, maka-benefit ang isa, maka-benefit, no, both of them can benefit. Okay, if there are no flowers, the pollinators lack a source of food. Okay, if there are no pollinators, pollination of flowers may possibly not take place. So wala tayong mga makitaan ng mga nindot nga mga pagpamulak, no, sa mga tanom, no, kung wala ni mga pollinators, wala ang insects, no. So both of them na sila maayo nga relationship. Okay? Next, no, other living things have similar relationships wherein there are some benefits from their interaction. Nitrogen is an important plant nutrient, no? So ang nitrogen, no, isa na sa pinaka-importante uh, sa mga tanom, no. Nitrogen is part of the air but plants cannot readily use them. So ang plants dili makagamit sa ilaha dayon. Okay, microorganisms like bacteria are very small organisms that cannot be seen by the naked eye. So, kanang mga microorganisms, no, from the word micro. So, we could not see them, no, sa atong mga mata. There are some bacteria that can fix the nitrogen in the air so that the plants can use them. So, naghapon day ang mga bacteria, no, they are very useful. They can help plants, no, by, no, when they fix nitrogen, no, which plants will use, no, which plants use for their survival, no. Nitrogen-fixing bacteria now live in the root noodles of plants such as cowpea, lentils, and mung beans. The bacteria find food and shelter by staying in the roots of those plants. The bacteria in turn makes nitrogen, no? So ang bacteria it makes makes nitrogen, no? And nitrogen needed by plants readily available for the plants. So kiniday mga bacteria they could help plants, no, by fixing the nitrogen where ang plants na lang igo na lang nila gamiton. Okay, the sea anemone are animals that cannot walk, no, dili maka or swim, no. To protect themselves and to capture food, no, they have poisonous tentacles. Clownfish is small fish that makes shelter in sea anemone and are protected from its sting. In addition, clownfish are protected by the sea anemones from being eaten by bigger fish. Clownfish helps the sea anemone by fluffing its tentacles, no? The wriggling and darting actions of clownfish within its tentacles increase the oxygen supply that can be obtained by the sea anemone. So, the interaction between the clownfish and the anemone or the sea anemone, no? So, maka-benefit ang matag usa sa ilaha. Okay? So, nakita naman nato, no? So, pwede mahimo ang sea anemone, pwede diha magtago, no? Magtago diha ang clownfish, no? To avoid bigger fishes that would eat them or kanang ilahang mga ilahang mga sana kanang ilahang mga tawag na to ani ilang mga predators. Pero ang clownfish pod mo mutabang po siya dito pod sa sea anemone, no, labi na sa pagkuan sa tentacles. Next, no, commensalism. So in some relationships, only one of the interacting living things benefits and the other is unaffected, no? So ang isa makabenepisyo, ang isa unaffected, no? This type of relationship is called commensalism, no? In this relationship, commensal is the one that benefits while the host is neither harmed nor benefited, no, ang neither wala siya na harm or wala po siya naka-benefits, no. So remora is a kind of fish that can stick on bigger animals such as sharks because of its suction like head part. This enables them to travel long distances by hitching a ride on larger animals. Now, most kind of remoras are commensal. So, kini mga remora nga mga isda sa baga pa makihits ba pero makaagto sila layo, no? Aside from the free transport, they also get to eat the scraps of food left over by sharks along their journey together. So, uban-uban lang siya sa shark, no? Kung ang shark anay makaon, anay mabilin siya, mukaon na to. Okay, so trees are hosts to different kinds of commensal. No, birds set up nests on trees for protection. Other plants such as ferns and orchids also grow on tree trunks. Birds, ferns, and orchids benefit from trees without causing any harm. Trees can survive without the commensals and they do not benefit from them too. So walay benepisyo ang makuha ng trees, no? So kana mga ferns motorok diha sa mga trees nga dagko. no? So walay kuanang kuano, walay nay mangitlog, nay magbuhat di og pugad nga langgam. So ang kuan lang taon ang kining pag tree dili wala nakabenepisyo sa ila pero dili siya maunsa, okay? No, so these are the key points. No, symbiosis refers to close long-term interaction between two different kinds of organisms in an ecosystem. Some interactions among living things are beneficial. No, in mutualism, both living things benefit from one another. In commensalism, no, one living thing benefits from another while the other is unaffected or unharmed. No, not affected or unharmed. No, so sa commensalism, the one benefits. No, ang isa ka kuan nakabenepisyo, ang isa wala. No, pero wala siya, dili siya maapektuhan o dili siya ma-harm. No, sa commensalism. Okay, let's do some question and answer. Okay, what kind of relationship exists when two living things benefit from the interaction? Tawag na to ana niya mutualism. Okay, which of the following statements describes commensalism? So one living thing benefits while the other is neither harmed nor benefited. Okay, this kind long-term interactive relationship between two different organisms is called symbiosis. Okay, symbiosis ang tawag ana. Okay, a relationship wherein two different kinds of living things benefit from their interaction, no, tawag mutualism. Okay, which of the following is an example of mutualism? So asa man diya ang example sa mutualism, no? So ang example diya ang ants protect aphids, no, from predators and collect honeydew from them. So ingon ana siya. Okay, so ingon ana, no. So ang ants protektahan niyang aphids, no, sa mga predator ni ani, and then ang kolektahon nila ang honeydew, no, from them. But still, no, nakakuan ka po ng aphids, no, nakabenepisyo gyapon because they will be protected. Okay. The bird eats fleece from the fur of the cow. Which of the following statements is true about this interaction? No, the true is the bird and the cow benefit from the interaction. So both of them, no, naka-benefit. Okay, so ang bird, no, gikaon niya tong mga kuto sa baka, no? Gikaon niya ang kuto o niya nabusog po, no, di ba? Na source of food na punto sa kining langgam. Then ang kwan pod ang baka po nakabenepisyo kay nalimpyuhan siya din kana pong mga uban nga mga mites, no. Uban nga mga mites, no, mukuha pud na, mo-absorb pud na sa nutrients dito sa baka, and then parasitism, burag parasitism ang tawagan na kay, of course, no, pwede man magka-infection ang baka. So through the help of a bird, no, gikaon to sa bird, so nakatabang nagdako sa baka nga malimpyuhan ang iyang lawas, no? Which of the following statements is not true? So, okay, so the host in the living thing that benefits in commensalism, no, the host is the living things that benefits in commensalism. So wala. Okay, that is not true. There are bacteria that are helpful, no, how they can help plants, no. So na mga bacteria, no, there are bacteria that are helpful, no, how they can help plants, no. So saan man nila pagtabang, no, kini mga bacteria. Okay, so they can fix the nitrogen in the air so that the plants can use them. So di ba na mga bacteria nga nitrogen fixing siya ng mga bacteria, no, nga which the nitrogen is very important nutrients for the plants. It refers to close long-term interaction between two kinds of organisms in an ecosystem. So tawag na to ana niya symbiosis. Okay? Next, now, which of the following situations shows mutualism? Okay, so ang kuan diha mutualism, di ba, both of them benefit. Okay? Both maka-benefit sila sa matag usa. Okay, ang example sa mutualism is cats hunt rats in the house. The owner allows the cat to stay. So ang cats pod, no, ug ang owner sa house nakabenepisyo siya sa matag usa. Okay, so ang house nga gipuy-an sa tao naay mga rats. Okay, gi-allow niya ang cats nga magpuyo diha. So ang cats nakabenepisyo na sa pagkaon, and then ang owner po sa house, no, so nakabenepisyo kay malesen ang mga ilaga. Okay, malesen ang mga ilaga, no, gamay mga ilaga nga naa sa iyahang balay. Okay, so that's all, and thanks for listening and thanks for joining, no, and God bless.